good day. It's another beautiful Tuesday, and welcome to Episodes with Faye. I hope we are all doing okay. I'm always asking because it is very paramount to keep positivity alive and make sure that no matter the circumstances of life, you try as much as possible to stay okay, to stay positive, to stay active, and to stay consistent and disciplined. So today we're going to just rush into today's topic. For today, we're going to be talking about discipline and consistency. So before we dive into that, I was surfing through the net, and then I came about a fact on Thomas Edison. And this fact was that he made 1,000 unsuccessful attempts at inventing the light bulb. 1,000 unsuccessful attempts. Okay, one thing I will pick out of that is not just the fact that he failed. In failing, he found steps, but there is one thing I must say that existed, which is discipline and consistency. That comes with a whole lot of sacrifice and a whole lot of hard work. Yes, to be disciplined, to be consistent means you have to be willing to make the sacrifice and put in the hard work. So today we're going to be doing something different. We're going to be listening to the opinions of people before we dive into the lecture. So I went about asking questions like, what is one thing you're consistent with? Would you say it has added to your growth as a person? What do you do to stay consistent? How important is discipline to you? How hard is it to be disciplined? How hard is it to be consistent? So this was what I went about asking people. So before we go into the lecture of what discipline and what consistency is and how important is it to you as a person, we will be listening to people's opinion on how they feel about consistency. How important is discipline to them? Is it paramount in achieving life goals? Should it be something we should just walk past because it's not important? So let's listen to people's opinion. Thank you. What is your name?
Okay, my name is Frederick.
Okay. So what does consistency mean to you?
Consistency, like I said earlier, keep doing what you're doing without stopping, putting on your efforts, no matter how difficult it is, no stopping. For that, we help you to grow.
So I saw you playing table tennis. How long did it take? How much effort, how much consistency did it take for you to get to the level you're at right now?
It's not about how long it will take. It's about how determined you are. Somebody can be consistent and then you don't stop for a while. And then when you stop for a while and then start again, it simply means that you're not consistent anymore. Meanwhile, consistency simply means keep on repeating what you're doing, no matter the failure, in order to achieve success.
Hi, my name is Oma, and
so what does consistency mean to you?
to me, consistency means doing the things that I want to do and doing them over a period of time. I don't think consistency means like showing up every day. It just means, to me, it means showing up when I plan to show up. Yeah, so it can be like, it has interval.
You have been consistent.
Waking up.
Waking up. Beyond that.
Okay, I know that something I've been consistent with, like for 7 months now, it's the podcast I host. And I was super surprised because for me, consistency is something that I used to struggle with till I started the podcast. So yeah, that's something I've been very consistent with.
Would you be able to say it has added to your growth as a person?
Definitely. Like, the growth is on a crazy level. When I started the podcast, even when you listen to the first episode and you listen to the ones now, the growth is clear. So there's a definite growth.
So how would you say it is hard to be disciplined?
Hey, If I have my way, I'm not doing discipline. I'll just wake up anyhow I feel like. I'll just go about it. But yeah, it's hard.
Okay, so what would you say to people who want to grow? How important would you tell them discipline and consistency is?
Okay, like I was saying earlier, I feel like discipline and consistency work hand in hand. You can't be consistent without discipline, and without being disciplined rather. And if you are disciplined, you will be consistent at what you're doing. So discipline is just basically discipline. It's just saying, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it no matter what. I think when you meet people, they want you to give them these 7 strategies on how to be disciplined. Those things are there, but basically at your heart level, you're just telling yourself, this thing, I want to do it, and I will do it. So
okay, I'm Jerry.
Okay, so the first question here is, what is one thing you're consistent with?
Okay, being upfront with people.
Okay, and would you say that has cost you something? Because when it comes to consistency, there is sacrifice you have to make, like reading a book, although it's not enjoyable, but you want to do it. So has that cost you anything, like being upfront with people?
Yes, it has. In fact, that's cost me a lot of friends.
My name is Favor Andrew.
Okay, so quickly, what does consistency mean to you?
I see consistency as the act of being persistent in whatsoever thing you do.
Okay, what is one thing you're consistent with?
Well, I could say consistent in my devotion.
Okay. Would you say it has added to your growth as a person?
Yeah, it has added to my growth, and it has actually helped me to know God personally, right? Because sometimes what you don't know, you would not be able to say much about. So consistency in that has made me to know God, and also to let others know about Him and become great. You just have to be consistent in whatsoever you do, because most people that achieve a lot is because of consistency. They keep doing that thing over and over. They neglect criticism, discouragement, and all that just to achieve what's in their mind. Because if you're not consistent, you will not achieve a lot. So consistency is a great key.
What's your name?
John, Saint John.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to be asking you a few questions. So, what does consistency mean to you?
How you grow.
That's
The
true.
rate that you grow.
Okay.
Up, down. You can consistently go down, you can consistently go up.
So, what does discipline mean to you?
Discipline, everybody needs to be disciplined.
Okay. Do you feel like there is like a sacrifice that is being made to be disciplined?
Yes.
What kind of sacrifice?
You want to look like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. You put in the hours to use your body. That's discipline.
Thank you all so much for the opinions. I hope we all listened, and I hope we all got something from the different opinion of people. But you could see that everybody has their own different perception and view of what consistency is and what discipline is. For some people, devotion is them being consistent. Well, very amazingly, we have a life coach who is going to be talking to us on discipline and consistency. So make sure you're glued, your ears are glued, so you could get something, because consistency and discipline is very paramount to our growth. You could say, okay, I've achieved some goals without discipline and consistency, but to take or make successful goals, to actualize them, you definitely do need consistency and discipline. So first of all, consistency is the quality of always doing things in the same way and having same standard. Consistency increases your productivity significantly, and you're constantly motivated to just keep going and doing better every time. So consistency sets the guidelines and expectation you have of yourself. And for you to succeed, consistency is required. So in driving for success, consistency is something you do not want to exclude from your journey, because it is very paramount. Consistency leads to productivity. It may be hard, but it is one thing that leads to you achieving your goal as a person. So consistency brings about accountability, consistency brings about clarity, consistency brings about motivation. In fact, you can say consistency is the key. Yes, consistency is the key majorly to success, and in all areas of your life you need consistency. Consistency is a habit you want to cultivate, because before you know, it is breeding or increasing your productivity as a person. It brings about clarity. You don't have to say, okay, this morning I have to do this, then at the end of the day you're confused because there are a whole lot of things to do, and at the end of the day you might end up not doing anything. But when you're consistent, it makes you know that, okay, this is what I have to do, this is what I have to do, this is what I have to do at this particular time. It organizes your day, it brings about accountability to you as a person. So discipline, on the other hand, is used to create habits. And majorly, I'm just taking out self-discipline, which is the control of oneself to achieve a goal or maintain a certain standard of conduct. It is a practice of training oneself to do things that should be done and resisting things that should be avoided. Yes, discipline comes with a whole lot of sacrifice. You want to leave the pleasure to do more of the goals, or discipline yourself for more things that will lead to the actualization of your goals, like reading a book, like doing productive things. Yes, it says without discipline it is hard to be consistent, and without consistency the mental muscle of discipline will weaken over time. So they are intertwined, they work with each other. So you need discipline to be consistent, and you need consistency to keep your discipline strong and not weakened. I usually say something: place your life goals before pleasurable goals. And you cannot do that without discipline and consistency. So let's listen to Mr. Nelson.
That your future complete motivated self will do, your unmotivated self can as well do. Discipline, therefore, is doing what you must now. Act now, wait later. Discipline is the ability to do hard or ordinary things when there is no motivation. And consistency is the ability to do those things for an unordinary amount of time. Discipline doesn't only mean doing the hard things, it is also the ordinary things too. Consistency is discipline sustained. If you're disciplined this morning, you're disciplined the next morning, and the next morning, and the next morning, then we can say that you are consistent. So consistency is sustained discipline, and discipline is acting from the place of your purpose, not waiting for motivation. All you need to be disciplined is to know your purpose, the reason why you ought to do what you have to do. Once you know the why, then that task is a must-done task. Consistency is to purpose what breath is to life. I believe that diligence is the perfect blend of discipline and consistency. The Bible talks about diligence as, seest thou a man who is diligent in his work, he shall stand before kings and not mere men. When you have discipline blended with consistency, you have diligence. It is a sustained, purposeful effort towards achieving a goal.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for that. We're grateful. I hope you guys have been able to learn a lot. So before we round up fertilize your goal, you need discipline to actualize your goal. It takes determination to be consistent. It takes determination to be disciplined. And finally, make consistency and discipline a habit. Yes, make the both of them a habit and see yourself grow, see yourself improve, see yourself increase your productivity as a person, because it is very, very paramount to our growth. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you were educated. I hope you've been activated. Yes, your drive has been activated to be consistent, to be disciplined about life productive themes and not irrelevant things that will not add to your growth as a person. So make sure you're activating your discipline button. Make sure you're activating your consistency button today, because if you want to be successful, you need to be disciplined. If you want to be successful, you need to be consistent about things, consistent about life growing, productive things that you do as a person. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to today's episode with Faye. I hope you learned. I hope we did not bore you out. And we hope to see you next Tuesday. Thank you so much. Stay productive, stay consistent, and keep growing and increasing your productivity as a person. To have a nice day.